Hello and welcome back to Dungeon Breaker, or should we say Edge Hammer War Darkness.
Have you been reading my diary, Wills?
Yes, I have. We're back for some more Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound, the Warhammer Age of Sigmar role-playing game, and I'm joined as ever by the entirety of the Dicebreaker team. Hello, Alex Meehan, how are you doing?
I'm doing really edgy. Ah!
Yeah. And how are you doing, Johnny Chiodini?
Absolutely fine, thank you very much.
How are you, Alex Lowleys?
I'm sick, bro.
And last but not least, how are you, Matt Jarvis?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, well, you're all about to be a lot worse because you've just been discovered by an entire legion of storm vermin.
Oh, yeah.
We cut back straight into the action after a slightly troubling affair with a hooded man who had been completely, let's say, warped by some warpstone. After you dealt with him quite swiftly, the door to the cage that you've been shoved in had been opened, and after a not very convincing effort hiding as a tree, our fearless Woody's attempts to play the waypipes didn't quite go as planned, and you have been discovered. Outside of the door are, from what you can see, at least about 10 rats. One of them is, as I said, a storm vermin, which is essentially an armoured fighting rat. They're kind of like the front line. They are very, very heavily armed and plated. But a lot of the ones behind them are what you would be familiar with as clan rats, which are essentially the more sort of, just bog standard frontline troop that you just shove out with a shield and a sword and not really expect all that much from, which gives you some kind of confidence as to what to do. But what you will want to do is up to you, of course. So hand over to the players. Where do we go from here?
Okay.
Am I the only one who's been discovered?
Yeah,
As of yet, yeah. Although they, of course, know that the whole group went in there, so you can probably guess that they're aware of your suggested presence.
Are we hidden behind a boulder? Is that where we are?
Mm-hmm.
You are hidden behind
Yeah.
a boulder,
Yeah.
currently.
Yeah.
What else?
I dragged that weird man's body with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the body is still there.
He's still
Probably
alive.
God.
Gurgling a little bit, I don't know.
Wait, did I kill him?
Yeah, I think you garroted him with some chains, I think.
Yes.
It's been a short gap since we last played, for anyone wondering.
I'd like to turn to the others. I don't know if Woody will be able to hear me being sort of 10 foot up, but I'd at least like to turn to the other two and say, now listen, these are cowards. If we take out the big one, the little ones will run. I suggest we grab him and punch him a lot. And then can I mantle over the boulder and just go charging at the storm vermin, swinging?
Yeah, let's jump into combat. I'm going to call this, let's say that this is a surprise attack, because they weren't explicitly aware of your positioning. So I'm going to give you a free attempt here. So, a storm vermin has, let's say...
Too busy looking at the tree going, is that a species you know? Do you know that tree? Is that familiar?
Looks like an elm to me.
They've got a good defense, Johnny.
Yep.
Which means that your attack, which is...
My attack, that's the hammer, isn't it?
your melee attack.
Pretty sure my melee is average.
Okay, so they are technically one step higher than you, which means there's difficulty number of 3.
Okay.
Okay, so because they have one higher defense than you, you are one step lower than them, which means the difficulty number for this is 5. Which, of course, you are rolling 6-sided dice, which means that's pretty bad.
1 in 3 chance.
But this is going to be a body weapon skill test.
Okay. I'm rolling 4d6, so I don't feel
Pretty decent.
too bad about this. Blech! That's 3 1s and a 3.
Okay, so you all, you probably would have been the most surprised by this, Woody, because you weren't behind the boulder with everyone else. You just see this armored dwarf leap out, axes in hand. What you?
You took all of our weapons, Wheels. You took every weapon we had. I'm trying to punch a storm vermin out with my
Flailing.
dwarven fists.
Sorry, By axes, I mean that's what he calls his.
Oh, I
guns.
see. Yeah.
So yeah, he's currently just sort of like flexing and flailing at the same time. And as he gets about, let's say, a foot or two away, just as it's about to turn a flailing fist party into something that's actually going to do some damage, the halberd of the storm vermin just sort of flings down and just prods you in the stomach, just gashing you a bit, but not too much damage, and bouncing you back and keeping you at bay.
All right.
And you can see as the sort of clan rats just sort of shuffle in to the side, holding their shields up, he's just kind of wielding his halberd in the air and just sort of like prodding away at anyone who comes too close. It seems like they're trying to keep you in right now.
Just as this happens, Morgana turns to look at Matt. What's your character called again? I'm really sorry.
Gwyn.
Morgana turns to look at Gwyn, and she says, "Did you just see that? Did you just see what he did? He just went over there, and now we're here. And
I saw.
And we're gonna have to go and help him, aren't we? Okay.
All right, let's get into combat. So what is everyone's initiative here?
6.
6
3.
Johnny, 3 for Matt,
5.
5 for Lolies, 4 for me, and the clan rats are coming in at 2. Let's say that a storm moment is probably a 3. So we
3, 4,
will...
5, 6.
I mean, this is looking pretty on the money. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Just do
Oh.
someone with a really, really crap initiative, then we're good to go. So Johnny, you've already taken your action. Let's start with Lolies. What would you like to do? In combat, everything works in zones. You are currently in the zone that is the prison area. There is also a zone outside the prison area. You can do one action, but you can spend your metal to perform extra actions if you have any, or if you want to spend it.
Okay. So the room that I'm in, because I'm in a different room from the rest of them, right?
No, they were behind the boulder, so you're all in this one sort of cubic space. But there was sort of like a broken bit of cave where they were hiding out in. But it's all part of the same zone.
Okay. I don't really know what I could do. What have I got? I don't have any weapons. Oh, damn. Can I just... I guess I have to look at, like, the Sylvaneth action. Or is there, like, something in D&D where you can just use, like, your fists, like
yeah, so you'll have, so basically if you do a melee attack, you use your melee skills, which should be predetermined because it'll be your hammer if we did that with you. Got your hammer set. But then it's the weapon determines what kind of damage you'll be doing, I think.
But because we don't have our weapons, I thought. So how does that work then?
So I think weapon skill is generally just sort of, fighting, right?
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'd like to just like flail, but like not in a messy way, I guess.
Artfully flail.
Can I use my wave pipe? Yeah, can I use my wave pipe to is it called a wave pipe? Yeah, wave pipe. Can I use my wave pipe to like smash it across somebody's
That's
head?
an ancient relic of your people.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I mean it's stood the test of time for a reason. It's really hard to break.
It's
when
hard
they were grabbing everyone's weapons, they should have realised that a pan flute also counts.
I told you to get the tree's pipes.
Okay, have you got like a specific target? Are you going for the big boy or one of the little clown rats?
I'll go for one of the little guys, I think.
Okay, so let's say that the one that is closest to you, that's just sort of been shuffling into the room and trying to get a surround on you, you just grab your wave pipes of it and just go for a big swinging cleave. So they have a defense of average because they are shielded. What is your weapon skill, or your melee skill rather?
Good.
Okay, so because you are one step higher, this is a difficulty number of 3. So you're going to roll body plus weapon skill.
Body plus weapons is my body's 4 plus weapon 5.
Whoa!
Does that mean I roll 5 dice?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay, I only have 4, so I'll have to roll and then roll 1 extra.
One hardy tree.
Whoa. Okay, and you need
3 ups.
what you?
3 ups.
Okay.
How many successes have you got?
What are successes again?
A 3 or higher. So if you roll a 3 or higher, because that's what you're looking for.
I've got 4 successes.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna level with you here, ladies. A clan rat has 1 health, so
Damn.
Poor
I should have
rat.
gotten the big guy.
This tallies so
Pick up the
closely with
waypoint.
my experiences playing Skaven against Sylvaneth. I just want to put that out there.
Wow.
you pick up the waypipes, and the clan rat just sort of gingerly raises its shield, and you just flatten it to the point where there is just a shield buried into the ground with some goop outside of it.
Oh, that's nasty.
After that, the clan rats are sort of backing up a little bit into more of a
Good.
shield wall formation.
I
You
need
don't
to
do-
make an example out of one of them.
Okay, Mian, you're up next. What would you like to do?
Okay. Question. Do I still have that chain I used to garrot this guy?
Yeah, let's call that a 1 damage weapon, just an improvised weapon.
Okay.
So normally when we do damage, it will be the damage of the weapon plus how many successes you got. So the more successes you get, the more damage you do. So in this case, it will be 1+.
Okay. Because the thing is, I'll give you a little hint here. Morgana's very good at sort of doing the whole sneaky kill thing. However, there are a lot of rats in here.
Yes.
So I imagine that she's not going to be able to get away with...
You are currently technically hidden.
Yeah.
So you get at least 1 attack where they're not expecting it.
Okay. Yeah, Morgana's going to sense... Having heard where Okri kind of jumped up and ran to, she's going to assume that he went to attack the biggest possible enemy, because that's Okri's kind of style. She's going to go in all guns blazing. So she's going to sort of do a flip, like, over the boulder in a
Sick.
cool assassin style. And then she's going to, like, run to the big rat and... maybe like whip him with the chain, like over wherever he's exposed on his body.
So you're targeting the storm vermin, the big
Yeah,
big
yeah, the
lad
big
with
one.
halberd.
Yeah, big lad.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So he's got good defense. So what's your melee attack skill?
Average.
Average. Okay, so because you're 1 step lower, you need to get a 5 or higher to hit him.
Okay.
And you're going to roll your body plus weapon skill.
Okay, my body plus weapon skill is 4.
Pretty decent. 46.
Yeah, not bad.
Here we go.
Yeah. Right. Okay, I have 3d6. Where am I? Found them. 4d6. Right. Okay.
You're looking for 5 or higher.
I got 1 success.
1 success. Oh, that's 2 damage. So you sort of you flip out of your hidden position, just sort of flailing the chains
Chain,
around in the
yeah.
air like a whip, and you manage to sort of grapple it onto the ankle of the vermin and just tug, and it just offs his balance, and just sort of like scratches and twists his ankle a little bit. He's sort of like just limping a little bit, just off balance, and a little bit less well set up. So if somebody wanted to swing in for a follow-up, they probably have a better chance at hitting.
I wonder if anyone's poised to do a follow-up.
Matt, you're up.
Who could say? I believe that I mounted Eel in the last session.
Correct.
It's been a little while, so correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think you've gotten off of him yet, no.
No, yeah. Me and Eel inseparable apart from, when one of us needs the toilet. And even then, most of the time we're in the sea, so...
Exactly.
So when mounted, I have mounted Combatant as a talent. So when mounted, my melee increases by 1 step.
Okay.
So I would like to charge... Doesn't Eel charge?
Yes.
I guess so, yeah.
Clever.
I'd like to gallop on this eel towards this storm.
Gallop is
vermin.
one I object to.
So what is your melee stat now?
So my melee stat will now be great.
Wow!
With my volt. So
Okay.
this is with my volt spear. I'd like to make clear. Oh no,
You
it was,
don't have the spear at the moment, right?
it was taken off. Right.
So
yeah.
let's pretend your eel is the weapon here.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if his jaws have any stats, but considering the size of him, I think he's probably pretty hefty as well. So let's say, so first of all, you need to do your melee attack. So you are 1 step higher, so you have a difficulty number 3, which means that however many dice you're rolling, which is your body plus weapon skill,
5.
5 dice, looking for 3 ups. That's going to be pretty devastating.
That's okay. Wait. So 3 ups. I've rolled 5 successes.
All right, here's what happens. So like just sort of like revving up your eel, you sort of get into a canter, and then he sort of like spins around a bit to get a little bit more momentum, and then just jaws wide open, just flies into this storm vermin and just clenches down into the middle half of him. And you just hear like a from the mouth of the storm vermin. But as this is happening, the tail whip of the eel just sort of like drifting into this group of clan rats also just flattens a few of those as well. And you actually sort of barrel out into the next zone, back into that sort of opening area of this mining colony, sort of underground Skaven, whatever you happen to be in. Outside, there appears to be more clan rats. In fact, there's a lot. There's a big old group of them. There could be maybe 20 or more. And if you know Skaven, you know that there are probably more coming. But you have managed to sort of cleave a pathway through the ones that came in to attack you at the moment. But unless you want to spend any metal to do an extra action, then the rats are going to start attacking.
Two fish, too furious.
Can I, assuming that eel's jaws aren't full of rat meat, can eel roar or whatever an eel does to be basically an intimidation check against, now that we've cleaved their leader in half? Trying to just scare him off.
Make you spend a metal for it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But what kind of skill do you think this would be? Because intimidation seems like the
intimidation and mind, I guess, because it's.
Yeah, let's call this mind plus intimidation. I'll give you 1 extra die because you're using the eel itself to your advantage. All right, Matt, so if you're going to be attempting to intimidate this group of rats, and they are cowardly little rats, I'm going to give you +1 die for using your eel.
Thank you.
But let's call this mind plus intimidation.
Okay. Is it an opposed test? Will you be rolling for
what
the
we're going
rats?
to do here is I'm going to set you a difficulty number, considering we've got a big group, and then the amount of successes will determine how many people actually get.
Okay, sure.
But if it were an opposed
If it were,
I would have the intimidating manner talent, which gives me advantage on opposed tests to intimidate, threaten, or start arguments. Oh, thanks, Will.
So let's say
you're
this
so
would
good to
have
me.
been. I mean, they've got the drop on you, so let's say this would have been difficulty number 4, and we've dropped it down to 3 for advantage.
Perfect.
How does that sound?
Okay, so I'm rolling 4 dice against difficulty 3.
Yes.
Not bad.
I got 3 successes
All right.
on my 4 dice.
Okay, so you rear up on eel again, and you get that sort of it's like underwater screech noise that's almost like it's permeating through the weird shimmering surface with like a sort of bubble to it, but it's horrible whatever noise it's making, and much as you hoped, a lot of the rats just sort of go wide-eyed and chittery and start backing up. There is a collection of them that were sort of just by the edge of where the sort of walkways and gangplanks and scaffolding and everything goes down into this huge chasm. They back up so far that a loose beam cracks underneath them, and about 4 or 5 rats just plummet down into the depths. Because I don't know if you know much about Skaven, Matt, but let's say they wouldn't pass many OSHA safety tests. But it is now time for the rats to act. So let's say there's about 10 currently descending on you, Matt. You'll be glad to know they're not very good. But we'll start with those. So, Matt, what is your defense right now?
My defense is good.
All right. Well, their attack is poor. So they are currently 2 steps lower. So it's difficulty number 6 on 2d6 each, and I'm going to do it 10 times. So however many 6s, how many times you're going to get hit. So that was 2 6s to begin with. My goodness.
Whoa.
So 2 successes. 2.
It begins.
3.
Bye, Matt. It was nice having you.
All rats.
5. 6.
Oh, Quinn was really growing on me.
That's 3 successes.
Oh my God.
7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, that's 4 successes. That's not bad at all, considering the odds. Okay, so about 4 of the rats manage to actually clamber up onto you, and you can feel their rusty shivs just trying to leverage themselves under your armor, and a few scrapes and scratches get through. So you take 4 points of damage to your toughness minus your armor.
Minus my armor. Okay, so -2, so I take 2 damage.
Not so bad.
Yeah, your toughness, once it drops, that's when you start taking proper wounds. But your toughness is kind of like your temporary HP, think of it as. In the room, the rats are not looking too hot on the situation anymore, considering they've had one of them cleaved over the head so hard that they disappeared into the floor. A few of them have been trampled by an eel, and one got torn in half. So as you start to sort of leverage up to them, even though you're only using sort of ramshackle weapons, a lot of them actually start thinking about whether or not they should stay in this room, and let's see if they do.
The old Skaven bravery test. This will go fine.
So quite a few of them run away.
There it is.
Wheels.
Yes.
This is an opponent attempting to move away from me, right?
No, this is technically an opponent moving towards you, I'm afraid, because you are in the second zone. These are the ones running away from where you were.
Sure.
But a lot of them will be moving away from you, I think, at some point. So don't worry, that'll come. That'll come.
Yeah.
As that happens, like maybe about 3 of the clan rats are still in the room. They look around and see that they're the only ones left, and they start backing up into the other zone as well. So at the moment, those of you still in the room are pretty much clear to just move around as much as you want. You get 1 movement per phase, obviously. Okay, so we're going to go all the way back up to the top with Johnny.
I'm going to try and powerbomb a Skaven into the floor.
Very simply put.
Okay, are you moving into the outside zone now?
Yeah.
Outside of the...
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you charge headfirst into it. Is there any particular... They're all just measly clan rats at this point.
Whatever.
Whichever one just looked at you.
I tell you what I want to do is I want to just walk through the door and then basically connect my dwarven foot with a clan rat's face and then just go and like mush its face into the floor.
Oh.
Sounds good. Well, what's your melee attack?
It should be 4d6. Oh, my melee attack is average.
Skill, sorry, yeah. Average. Okay, well, they're poor, so you're 1 step higher. So you're rolling 3s or higher.
Great.
And you're rolling body plus weapons.
Yes. Which, again, is 4. Okay, so 3 ups, 4 dice. That's 4 successes. 2 of them are 6s, if that counts for anything.
I'll tell you what, let's say that you start with the power bomb.
Okay.
You fly in with the drop kick, smush him into the ground, and then a few of them charge at you, but you are just flailing fists left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
A couple of them get an uppercut to the chin. You take out about 3 of them in one go.
Good.
Could you please roll for me mind plus awareness?
Okay. Mind plus awareness. 4. Another 4d6.
You're looking for 4s and up.
I got 1 success.
Out of the corner of your eye, in the middle of this bloodlust, as you're feeling your phantom weapons, you're like, oh, this would be a lot more fun if I had some real tech in my hands. You're sort of scanning around, and you see there's like a wooden lockbox outside of the cell that you were put in that is just calling to you.
I'm going to flip down my aethermatic lenses so I can see through it.
Ooh. Okay. You can see all the weapons that were taken from you before you went in. That's a handy skill to have.
Right, I'm just going to go, aha! And I'll yell. I'll be like, weapons in there! To everyone.
You're shouting that to everyone else.
Yeah, I'll communicate that to everyone who still has a go to take.
All right, so you can either spend your metal to do something else, or we'll move on.
How much metal is it? Is metal a thing that we either have or don't have? Or no, I've got 2 metal.
Everyone should have some metal, but it recharges quite slowly.
If I spend a metal, can I go get my stuff out of the lockbox so I'm ready to?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that then. Why not?
Okay, so you gear yourself back up, and let's say, tell you what, if you give me a, let's say body plus athletics check, looking for. How many people are weaponless right now? Currently 4. So you're looking for 4 successes, but only 2 ups.
I got 3 successes.
Okay, choose one person who doesn't get their weapons chucked to them.
Okay, I'm going to roll a d6 for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry, Matt, but
Well, he's doing
I
right.
got
isn't he?
eel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got an eel.
Okay, everyone else, you gladfully grab your weapons out of the air and re-strap yourself into combat.
Yeah, I think Morgana kind of looks at the chain she had in a kind of semi-affectionate way. She's like, "You did good, kid. You did good."
You've grown close over these past few minutes.
Yeah, they've had good times.
I think Woody, because Woody's weapon is a great axe, and Woody, being a tree person, is kind of scared of axes that are thrown at him. So I think he kind of ducks, but then goes to pick it up real quick.
Okay, so we're going to move on to Lolies then. Lolies, it's your turn. And Woody, what would you like to do? You can move for free, so you can join the rest of the fight for free if you like.
Oh, so am I not? Is there none around me anymore? They've run away.
They have fled from your cell, and now
Okay.
everything's happening outside the front door, basically.
Okay. Is there any of them that are near any of my companions?
Well, currently, both Okri and Matt, what was your character's name again? Sorry,
Gwyn.
Gwyn.
Clyde.
Clyde, yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
That's my brother.
Okri and Gwyn are currently surrounded by clan rats outside.
Okay, then I'll run out and I'll help Okri.
Are you helping with your weapons, or are you helping
Yeah.
by defending him?
No, I'd like to just start cutting down some with my great axe, if I can do
Okay.
that.
So, as you start cleaving through, by the way, everyone, as you start really getting into the fight, like it seems like every single clan rat that you take down seems to get replaced after a few minutes, and they seem to be pouring up from the sort of walkways that lead down into the mining pit, as if you know your presence has kind of alerted some of the ones that are nearby. But before, you had just your fists. Now you're actually in the full swing of war with your weapons fully equipped. I'm going to say that every success that you get in combat is a clan rat killed. So, what is your weapon skill, ladies?
1.
As in your hammer, sorry.
Oh, sorry. It's good.
Okay, you're good. They're poor. You're 2 steps higher.
Okay.
So you're rolling for 2s or more, and you're rolling weapon skill plus body.
Okay. 2 or more on 5 dice.
Yeah.
Okay. That's 4 successes, and I'd like to point out that 2 of those were 6s.
All right. Well, so the scene as a giant tree just starts wading through these rats, as 4 of them just go flying off the side of the hills. One of them, that's sort of backing away, just fully throws their weapons down and starts sprinting to some kind of scaffolding area behind the combat, where there appears to be some kind of metalwork at the top. And there's bits of steam pushing out. It's some kind of machinery at the top there. But if you're done now, Lolies, I'll push on to Meaton, unless you want to spend some metal for an extra action.
I think that's fine for me for now.
Okay.
I only have 1 metal, so I don't want to waste it.
That's fair. Meaton, you're up.
Okay, so is Morgana still in the cell?
Yes, but it's a free action to move
Okay.
between zones.
Now, I don't know how flexible Soulbound is.
I mean, it's a soul, so I guess.
Could Morgana attach the chain to one of her daggers? Because she has 2. She dual wields.
You want to chain them together, like a sort of nunchuck situation.
No, she wants to attach the chain to one of the daggers so that it's almost like on the chain. So that if she flung it out, she'd be able to pull it back to her.
Like a sort of get over here situation.
Yeah, like a get over here situation.
Okay, let's say this is going to be mind plus crafting. You're doing this under pressure, which means that the difficulty number is going to be quite high. So I'd probably say it's about 5.
Okay.
But I mean, it's as simple as just attaching it one part to another. So let's just say 1 success.
Yeah, she has no crafting.
What's her mind stat?
1?
Okay, well, it's over a 5 or higher if you want to go for it.
she really wants this. Okay, you know what? She's going to keep the chain. She's going to put it in her pocket. Because she
Shove it in
happens...
a backpack. It's
She
fine.
happens to know someone who's very good at crafting things.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So she's going to... I think for one moment she's like, oh, can you imagine how cool this would be? Like, if I had, like, a dagger on a chain. She goes to...
Make a mental note, yeah.
She goes, oh, really don't know how to do that. They never taught that in Witchblood school. So she puts it in her pocket. Does she see the rat, the Skaven, that skitters up towards this machine area?
If you're moving into the other zone, I'd say you'd see it clambering up there now, yeah.
That rat is very sus, and I think,
Oh, very.
I think
Very
she's
sus.
worried that it's...
That rat sauce.
I think she's worried that it's going to trigger something or do something kind of like that involving the machinery. So it went up the scaffolding.
It's in the process of clambering up it right
Okay, can she
now. Whatever
just
the hell's at the top.
chase after this one Skaven then? She's gonna see how far she can get towards the scaffolding.
Yes, but you are going to have to wade through the combat, so this would be quite difficult.
That's fine. She does. I don't think this is going to be relevant until it potentially is, but she has a contortionist ability that allows her to escape the grasp of enemies.
Okay,
But obviously these Skaven are quite small, so they might not even bother with that.
so let's say that this is going to be a body plus dexterity skill.
Okay, that's fine. The body is free.
I'm going to say that, so you're currently wading through quite a lot of enemies,
Yeah.
and they're not necessarily difficult to get away from individually, but as a group they are. So
Yeah.
let's say that this is only 3 ups to get a success, but you'll need to get about 3 or 4 successes to get through properly.
Okay.
I'd say on 3 you get out with some harm, on 4 you get out unscathed.
Okay. She has 5 dice in this.
Mhm.
I've only got 4d6s, so I'll roll 4. Then...
Just more drama.
Yeah, roll another one. Okay, what was the level? It was...
3 or up.
Okay, I have 4 successes for you.
4 successes. Okay, so deftly and skillfully you just sort of weave your way, the dance macabre, through the blood splatters and the rusty swords, and you start clambering onto the scaffolding, trying to catch up with this rat, who is just sort of looking down at you and is starting to climb a little bit faster. So that was a full action. So if you want to try and properly get to him, you'd have to spend a metal, or you'll have to wait until your next turn.
You know what? I'm gonna spend a metal.
Yeah,
I'm worried about what
do
this
it.
rat's gonna do if he makes it. So I have
Alright.
2 metals and I have 1. So I'll note that down.
Okay,
It
let's call
recharges
this an
each turn as well.
opposed roll then.
Sorry, what did you say, Matt?
You get 1 metal back each turn.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking it up while we were doing
Yeah.
things because I wasn't
Well
sure.
then.
So yeah, you get 1 back each turn.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm gonna spend a metal to just fully catch up with this Skaven. Do I only just catch up with them, or can I physically try
So
and
we're
stop
gonna
them?
we're gonna do an opposed test.
Okay.
So they have, they do not have a dexterity skill, but they do have stealth and awareness. I'm gonna say that they're gonna be rolling 2d6.
Okay.
The success on this will say, dice flying everywhere. We'll also say that a success on this is probably a 4. This is quite difficult terrain. You're a lot
Okay.
heavier than the rat as well.
Yeah.
This is obviously not made for humanoids.
No.
So you're going to roll once again your body plus dexterity, and
Okay.
then whoever gets the most successes will win the race.
Right. Race the rat.
So you're looking for 4s or higher.
Oh, I've only got 1 success.
I'm afraid they've got 2 on 2 dice, which was actually pretty impressive.
Hey.
I rolled a lot
The
of
little
threes.
rat that could.
I rolled a lot of threes there.
So, as the rat is clambering away from you, it just sort of kicks down on one of the more splintered bits of scaffolding that it climbed over, and as you go to reach out, it cracks under your grip, and you sort of hang down one-armed. But as you're sort of worried about your own safety, it's just sprinting away, and at this point, it's right at the top of the scaffolding, right next to whatever this metalwork is here. We're going to move on to Matt for the last action of the combat before whatever it's planning does what it's doing.
So I'm surrounded by rats.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah, but in the game.
Yeah, never more than 3 foot away, depending on where you live.
So can I basically want to do a 360 degree or 180 at least spin on eel, kind of handbrake turn eel,
Yeah.
and bat as many rats away as possible.
Okay.
Nice.
Sure, why not? Have you got any skills that will help with this, or is this are we going to call this a melee attack?
I've got beast handling.
Yeah, let's do beast handling. Why not?
What does focus
considering-
mean again?
So focus gives you for each point of focus that you have, you can increase one of the die results by
Oh,
one.
great.
So you can either spend them all on one die or push them across different dice. So let's say that this is mind and beast handling. We'll say that this is... Yeah, it's a big eel against a tiny rat. We'll say this is 3 ups. So with every success, you will bat a Skaven off of the edge of this sheer drop.
Okay, great. I've got 2 mind, 1 beast handling, but I've got a focus. So
Okay.
I'm looking for 3 ups. I'll spend my focus, turn that 2 into a 3, which means I got 3 successes on 3 dice.
Sweet. So yeah, you just sort of start doing donuts with eel, and then just kind of handbrake him into a big swing with the tail, and 3 rats just go flying. You can see like the wide-eyed glare of all of these rats that are just getting torn apart. They're all just sort of backing up a little bit and thinking, should we be doing this? But I'm afraid to say that their morale is lifted slightly when they hear the loud thrumming of an engine before almost an air horn-like warning signal blares throughout this mining chute. And then you see that cowardly Skaven that ran away is currently pulling down something metallic and brings it to its mouth.
Is he like a hype man? Please say this is what's happening.
That's a hype man, more of a warning signal.
Oh, okay. I thought he was going to start hyping up the crew.
Yo!
We got
We get some reinforcements on aisle 4.
Oh no.
Before he just grabs this device and just shouts,
Landings to both tower! Battle station!
Oh no.
and then suddenly that one loud sound is just echoed by horns all over this warning chute, and you just hear this horrible collection of screeching and laughing and just weapons being clamoured against stone and brick and wood. And you realise that if you don't start moving, you'll probably be surrounded by more rats than you've ever seen in your entire life.
Cool. Cool.
Let's go.
Really wish I'd caught that rat. I really wish I'd caught that rat.
Let's say that we're out of combat right
Yes.
now. Because you've got the upper hand. You know, there are a few rats that are stopping you, but we'll say that's more of a disadvantage than it is a real combat right now, because you are kind of crushing them. But you are very, very aware that there are more coming.
So the
And once again, just as you're standing there and sort of thinking, oh God, what do we do now? You hear that low, deep sound of the weapon firing above you, remembering the goal of which your journey has been.
Mm-hmm.
is the rat that pulled the device, are they still there?
Vengeance
That's
first.
still there.
I think Morgana's hanging from this piece of scaffolding, but also looking at the rat and just cursing the rat. Be like, you little, like, naughty words, you know. Like,
He's laughing. He's like,
I'm gonna get you! I just need to reach this one! I can get there! Ugh. So you just see Morgana swinging from, like, a pipe or something and like, shaking her fist up at this Skaven, trying to grab, like, another bit of scaffolding.
As we're out of combat, can I collect my pike? That Okri didn't
let's
throw my
say
way.
that it gets chucked to you by someone.
I give the dwarf a
We'll
look.
assume that everyone has got their starting point.
It looked pretty electrified. I wasn't sure which end to grab. Know where you are with an axe.
Yeah.
I think
Don't grab the pointy end.
Not going to grab any end now. It's in your hands.
Morgana's given up trying to get the Skaven and she's just now limply like hanging from the pipe, and just says, "I mean, a little help here would be nice."
Well,
Hello?
I'm doing a dexterity, man.
I mean, can she try and grab the scaffolding?
Are you trying to get up to the top?
Yeah,
again
she wants to.
for some revenge. Yeah, give me a body plus dexterity.
Okay, I can do this.
Let's say difficulty 4 again.
I got 2 successes.
2 successes. That's fine. Yeah, you find now that you're not under time pressure. You know the climb isn't that difficult. You grab to the side and pull up, and then the laughing of the Skaven turns more into as you get a little bit closer, and he grabs the pointy end of a bit of broken wood from the scaffolding that you're on, and just starts jabbing at you to try and keep you at bay.
Yeah, Morgana grins, sort of very widely. And then when she can get within reach, can she just she just wants to try and slash this Skaven's throat open with one of her daggers.
Yeah, I think you get to the top, and at that point he's just sort of jabbing wildly and swinging. But at this point, one clan rat is nothing to you as you grab one of your trusty daggers finally back in your hand and just swing. And he just sort of tries to duck, clambers backwards, and you just hear him go,
I think Morgana's gonna yell down at wherever he fell. Look who's on top now, huh? Huh?
You hear the sounds of rats clambering up the walls.
Yeah, I want to try and cheese it toward... I mean, it's kind of a last-ditch attempt to reach this weapon, feels like. So, Ethematic saw away on the controls for the engine, just full, toward wherever it is.
Farting off.
Okay, so as you sort of, get yourself above the fracas below you, Johnny, you can see in a bit more detail what's surrounding you. So imagine like a huge you have no idea how deep this thing is, but you'd say it's probably maybe 5 or 6 stories tall from where you are.
Okay.
Of this huge cylindrical mining tunnel. And all around the walls is this ramshackle scaffolding and wheels and conveyor belts and minecart tracks and all sorts of really poorly put together construction.
Okay, does it all look very precarious? As if, for example, if I started wrecking up the room, that it would do irreparable damage that would at least mean they stop using the weapon if it doesn't break it entirely. That sort of vibe?
So it doesn't look like this thing, this room that you're in is necessarily powering the weapon. It's more just they are mining for supplies.
Okay, but it would absolutely still be catastrophic.
Certainly do some serious damage.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I mean, have minigun will use, so I'm going to get the Ethematic volley gun out and just kind of just sort of casually, as if I'm using a strimmer, just want to float there and just go and just start spraying all of the mining equipment specifically with Ethematic volley fire.
Okay, let's call this. I'm going to say mind plus ballistic skill.
Okay, mind and...
Can we just establish something before you do this, Johnny?
Mm-hmm.
Are you firing the bit that Morgana's standing on?
Not on purpose.
Yeah, I'm not shooting everything. Okay.
It was nice living.
So I'm rolling 5 dice.
Yeah, the difficulty on this is only a 2. For every success you do, the more damage you'll do.
Excellent. That is 5 successes, of which 2 are 6s.
I mean, it didn't take much for you to just completely let loose on every single bit of ramshackle wood that you could see. And are you aiming at a specific area? Are you trying to get the stuff below you, above you?
I was thinking, whatever just seems to be, structural supports. I want to bring as much above us down as possible.
Okay. Yeah, so you start targeting the most important looking pillars and beams that you can find.
Mm-hmm.
And as the volley guns sort of shrapnel and pieces of armament just sort of tear into the wood, you see it start to splinter and judder, and you see mining Skaven just go as they realise that the floor is collapsing underneath them.
Mm-hmm.
But any poorly constructed building, as soon as one part starts to topple, it falls onto a different part, which starts to topple. And like a house of cards, the structures around you just start shattering and breaking. What you didn't maybe expect was that some of these supports were holding up the mine itself, as well, as you start to see bits of rock fall off of the walls. And you realise that you are in this mine as well.
I just want to sort of yell down and go, I may have overdone it!
Morgana's like hanging onto the edges of the scaffold that's slowly sort of crumbling. She's maybe, quite possibly.
As you're doing this, there is there's all sorts of pulley systems where they'll bring up like these containers full of minerals, and you can see that like a group of about 5 or 6 clan rats are currently spilling out of it, using it as like a sort of vehicle that they're trying to get up to you with. Which luckily for them hasn't been destroyed by some of your breaking, but they're getting closer to your position to try and reinforce.
Let's get a move on.
Can Morgana use her graceful landing ability to jump off the scaffolding onto the floor?
Onto the floor, yeah?
Yeah, so...
How does the ability work, sorry?
You can control your momentum when you fall from a great height, allowing you to mitigate the worst of the damage. You can make a body athletics test to avoid taking damage. The difficulty of the test is equal 1 per 10 feet fallen, of a maximum of 6.
Let's say this is a 30-foot drop.
Okay. So I'm doing body athletics. Do I have athletics? No, I don't. As you can see, I made this character with the utmost care and detail.
So good.
What's the success rating?
3 for 30 foot.
Yes, I got 2 successes.
Okay, yeah. Let's say that you land on a pile of clan rats, which sort of cushions your fall as you start just cleaving into them, and it's almost trivial. You're just sort of like stabbing whilst you're having a conversation with everyone else. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. What's the get down? What's the general plan of escape or?
Wills, are we kind of on? We're subterranean at the moment, right? So going up would be ground level, and then this Ballistia is 5 stories above that kind of thing.
No, you're 5 stories below the ground of where this weapon is placed.
Oh, okay, right. It's on ground.
Because you went underground to get here, so you're still currently underground.
Okay.
Okay.
More of these pulley system carts are arriving.
Right. Morgana's gonna finish killing these Skaven. So the pulley carts are going up towards us from below.
Yeah, they're throwing rocks at you from them and spears and all sorts of things.
Okay. Can Morgana have a look around to see any other exits from this particular area that don't go down?
Well, so there's a couple of options from what you can see. I mean, first is the supports and structures and pillars that your friend started breaking, which aren't currently gone, but I wouldn't say that they'd be easy to climb up when they're sort of mid-destruction. I mean, the pulley systems feel like a pretty good idea as well. If the rats are using them to go up and down, then perhaps you could as well. But apart from that, there's also, there are sort of rocky outcroppings that you could possibly climb. Now that some of the supports and the structures are breaking away, they seem to at least have enough handholds that it would take a while, but you could probably use them to climb up.
Okay. Morgana's just going to start running away from the Skaven that are coming up towards them. And while she's running away from them, she's going to say, Okri, you're technically craftedly minded. Any ideas for maybe something we can make to scale these walls in a very short amount of time with very few resources?
An Endrin. Works brilliantly.
Yes, I can see that. Excellent work. Yeah, I don't have one of those. Neither does Gwyn, and neither does Woody. Any ideas for
Hold
this
on.
ground lot?
I'd like to use all of my my dwarven crafting might wheels to generate something that is known in the Carringer Overlord Skyporters of Barak Zilfin as a rope that is knotted. So I want to just basically just put my way up there myself, and then tie a knotted rope, and then just bung it down, and just look back and admire my handiwork. Like, oof.
Okay, let's call this mind plus crafting.
Okay.
I'm going to say that this is a 4-up.
Okay.
And you probably need... Well, first you need a success to try and figure out what to use.
Okay.
Second, you need one to do it. So let's say you need 2 successes at 4-up.
Okay, 4 ups. I'm rolling 4 dice, and I have a point of focus in crafting.
Lovely.
So that, with using my point of focus, that is now 3 successes.
Perfect. So, as you're sort of tottering around looking for some kind of resource for this, you can hear not just clan rats now, but all sorts of horrible noises being made from down below, including some kind of rippling effect as something heavy just slams its feet into the floor.
Marvellous.
But as you notice the vibrations going up, you see that the rats in the pulleys don't seem all that affected. And as you see the sort of like dual pulley system that they're using, as they're just sort of like slowly pulling themselves up, you just sort of grab both sides and just spin, and it just sort of like starts spinning into a sort of double helix shape. And the rats are just being flown around violently in circles.
Worst teacups.
Yeah, a couple of them seem to be a bit sick, and some of them fly out. But as you're doing that, these pulleys are sort of combining themselves into a natural rope, which you start to use the force of your engine to just sort of push closer to the group for them to get a hold on.
All aboard.
Pretty good. I'll give you that. That's pretty good. Yeah, Morgana's gonna leap onto the rope and start climbing up.
Anyone else?
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't know she had to roll for that. Yeah, I'll join.
No, I just wanted
climb
to know what everyone was doing. That's all.
Yeah, I'll climb on up. Let's get out of here.
I feel like Il might struggle. Actually, can Il kind of wind around the rope?
Like, like
and
a
then...
sort of reverse helter skelter. Sort of going on. As you're sort of like clambering towards this makeshift rope that your friend has made for you from behind now. From the entrance that you feel, you can feel the hordes of Skaven running towards you, and as you just momentarily look back, one of you see some hulking beast running like a gorilla towards you with massive, like mutated fists covered in all kinds of machinery, just storming towards you. Amongst whole hordes of rats, and you thankfully grab onto the rope as quickly as possible as you watch Eel just sort of sliver his way up. So everyone on the rope, could you please...
Does Eel leave behind like a thing of slime so that people can't follow us? 'Cause it'll be
Yeah, definitely.
Slime out.
Yes, slime.
Love it.
Can everyone on the rope please roll me body athletics
No.
or dexterity, whichever you prefer.
Oh, yes, please. I'll take that one. Oh, wow, I rolled real bad, huh?
What are we looking for in terms of successes?
Okay, so this is going to be difficulty number... Okay, actually, this is only going to be a 2, but you're going to need like 3 or 4 successes because this is a long climb.
I got 3.
Wait, 2 ups, but 3 successes is what we
Yep.
need. Okay, I got 3.
I got 2.
Okay.
I rolled so many ones.
Right. You are just sort of like desperately clambering up this rope. Woody and Eel seem to be the furthest ahead as they're getting towards the daylight now, as it's sort of pouring through this giant crack in the grounds that you're hoping to get out of. But Morgana, as is climbing up, sort of falls behind Eel and actually gets a little bit covered as Eel goes past. And now it's getting a little bit slippy. And as you're pulling up, you feel yourself just sort of shifting down a little bit. The rats climbing beneath you are trying to clamber up towards you. Is there anything that anyone can think of to do to help?
I could stick out my Volt Spear if I'm within Volt Spear distance.
Yeah, Volt Spear distance is a pretty standard unit of measurement, to be fair.
Yeah.
So let's say, can you just give me a body plus either athletics or might skill to just try and pull Morgana up a little bit?
Sure, you wouldn't take a weapon skill.
Well, you're not trying to kill
No, it's
Morgana,
fine.
so I wouldn't.
I don't have anything in might or athletics, so body it is. I got 3 5s and a 3.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so
Matt
yeah,
Jarvis
you
is getting
giving
all
out
the
the leverage.
successes.
Finally, something that isn't covered in slime that you can grab onto. As you hoist yourself up with the spear, you manage to get onto a bit more of a dry area, away from the rats. You're all as a group now climbing up. I'd say Okri is probably the first to get into the natural sunlight, as the Endrin just pulls him up. And as you get just above ground level, your eyes are still adjusting to the light as they're pouring through your visor. And the cold winds of the dreadful deserts of the plains of Shaiish are just sort of like blowing past you. And there is like a general sort of mist of sand and debris that's just flying past your visor. But as you look to the side and as it starts to clear, you see this huge siege engine weapon that the Skaven have constructed. Imagine, if you will, some kind of giant anti-air rifle made of melded wood and metal and warp stone. And every sort of few minutes or so, there is like a sort of thrum of energy from the back of the device. And as these sparks of green lightning power up from the back, it starts to spin. And as the crews on top load in by pulling down on these levers on the device, these massive, almost like, ship-sized arrows get launched into it, and after a while it just like a magnetized weapon fires them out into the distance.
Cool.
But we'll have to find out what happens with this weapon on the next episode of our Let's Play of Age of Sigmar Soulbound here on our Dungeon Breaker Season Break. Thank you very much for watching. If this is your first time on the channel, weird place to drop in, but thanks very much for joining us. And please do hit subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified when the next episode and when any of our other fantastic videos go live. You can also find more of Alex Meehan and Matt Jarvis over on Dicebreaker.com with all of our fantastic contributors writing some really, really great stuff on our home and half of the Dicebreaker website. You can also support the channel by grabbing some exclusive merch from dicebreaker.myshopify.com. But before you do all of that, let us first wish you a lovely grimdark day, and we'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye!
Bye!
Bye.